Greetings. Welcome to Context is Everything. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, I thoroughly enjoy this show. I enjoy this show because it's not a typical reality show. And when I say that, I mean stereotypical reality show. There's no former rappers, professional athletes or their wives, R&B singers, or anyone that's just, around that entertainment atmosphere or the industry. These are normal black people just trying to navigate life, which I appreciate. I enjoy shows that once I look on the screen, I can see myself, or I can see someone that I actually know that's in my ecosystem. Now, the show cast is Melody and Martell Hope. You have Marceau and Letitia Scott, and you have Maurice and Kimmy Scott. Now, for the most part, all of them are associated with real estate, even though Kimmy still is a nurse too. I appreciate the show because you can tell, being in Huntsville, Alabama, that they actually went to the same universities. For the most part, most of them went to the same universities, hung out in the same circles. And you can tell, unlike other reality shows, these people actually knew each other prior to actually filming or this project being greenlit. I actually enjoy the show because you can't help but to enjoy normal people. So the group is the comeback group, and the comeback group plan is actually to reinvest or invest in general in Huntsville community. I enjoy that concept. I think we need more of that in general as black people. In previous seasons, the conflict actually broke amongst the cast members because of Martell's cheating. And, Martell actually suggested that Marceau was cheating with him. And so that fractured the whole group. And Maurice is Marceau's brother. So, it was hard to choose a side. And, family always going to ride with family. There's nothing wrong with that. But I was really disappointed because I love the trajectory of where the show was going. Again, remember the basis or the initial purpose of the show was to document a real estate group investing or reinvesting into Huntsville, Alabama. Now, if you know anything about rural society, we're talking about Alabama, Tennessee, some parts of Texas, Florida. A lot of these rural towns, especially the black sides of these towns, they're desolate. They're food deserts. They're economically disadvantaged. They don't have the resources that their white counterparts actually have. So I think that concept was really dope and really cool. But it's reality TV, so sometimes you never get what you actually want. There is a power dynamic with Marceau and Letitia Scott. Marceau is paternalistic as it relates to his wife Tish. Marceau comes off condescending and controlling and manipulative. It seems like every time, or sometimes, Marceau and Tish is having a conversation. Sometimes Marceau manipulates the conversation so Marceau can benefit from it. Tish has went to school. Tish is trying to better herself, better how she talks, just fully come full circle as a woman and a mother, and, finding her own self-identity. But it seems like Marceau loves, the dynamic of, Marceau being on top, Marceau, Tish doing anything. Tish's role is to benefit Marceau. And if Tish is not actually benefiting Marceau, here enters the conflict. I hope Marceau can grow as a man. Now, I do live in a misogynistic society, but with that being said, having that view when you have kids and some of your kids are daughters too, that could actually be real damaging. And, Letitia is sweet, but to be nice, Letitia is kind of basic. And I actually think Marcel resents Letitia for not being refined. And when I say refined, I'm saying polished. When you actually look at a polished woman, she's sophisticated, she's educated, she makes great decisions. And Letitia is really not there yet to be a wife and a mother. But going back to Marcel misogynistic ways, I actually think, because you say, well, they're married, I actually think that Marcel married Letitia because he wanted to mold her. Her being from a rural small town and having a country dialect, which may be off-putting to, someone in the city hearing their vernacular. And I think he makes fun of that sometimes because she is a little insecure about that. And she is insecure about, not processing information that quick. And he kind of takes advantage of that. And again, like I said, I just see a power dynamic in the sense that, he likes his woman a certain way. I want to talk about Maurice. In regards to Maurice and Kimmy, I really love them. I love that Kimmy I love that Kimmy paid for her son's college. As you know, man, college is actually expensive. So when we talking about generational wealth, especially in the Black community, it's non-existent. So for you to have a leg up and give your child that support system with not being in debt, that was great. You could tell Kimmy is a professional Black woman. Kimmy is not yearning for the reality spotlight. Although she's on reality TV, you could definitely see she's a quality person. So is Maurice. I love them as a couple. I love the different dynamics. Earlier in the seasons, earlier in the first season or second season, Maurice wanted to get his son back. I think that's important a lot because from a Black male perspective, you see dads not always being there. Now, I enjoyed seeing that imagery of Maurice actually wanting his son from a previous marriage. With some kind of conflict because, logistically, how was that going to work? And, I think that was part of the conflict, too, because Maurice had a home that was paid off. He was going to let his former wife live there with her current boyfriend just so he could live, just so the son could live with him and, and be in proximity to the mother too. So we can still do this thing called parenting. I definitely enjoyed that. And like I said, I just love Maurice from the standpoint of, the definition of what manhood is. Oftentimes I think in the media, and we do it to ourselves too, we perpetuate the absentee Black father. And it's really actually never shown that there are Black fathers that are leaving, or there are Black dads who do not parent regardless. But what about the Black fathers and Black men in general who adopt or actually parent themselves? And so I love Maurice and Kimmy in general in real life. I could see myself hanging out with Maurice and Kimmy. I thoroughly enjoy them. Conflict actually kicks off, or the drama kicks off, when Martell is rumored to actually cheat on Melody. Now, well, if you don't know, Huntsville, Alabama is a very small town. It's not a major city in America. So you have to understand that whatever dirt anyone does, that it will be the talk of the town. I came in, I believe season 1 or season 2, and they went on a cabin trip. and I just enjoyed the fellowship. But I noticed that Melody was actually really upset with Martell. And I mean, naturally anyone would be upset if you're married and there's infidelity going on. Now, I'm not talking about it from a misogynist standpoint, but the way she was upset, it's as almost he had been unfaithful before. And I could tell the nastiness, and the nastiness how she treated Martell. He actually deserved everything, but I can tell his infidelity wasn't new to her. It was something that was continuous, and there's been a pattern maybe where he actually told her, hey, this is my last time. But you can tell that possibly Martell was a serial cheater. Even with the conversations amongst all the different men, it's as almost they knew Martell behavior. Now, two things could actually be true. You could be a great dad, but a horrible husband. And so, I was intrigued with the show because I was just trying to learn each group's dynamic. And their dynamic is you have this attractive couple that in, societal standards, or by societal standards, of course, in, the black culture, because we love imagery, though sometimes imagery is not reality, but that's another conversation and concept, that you have a quote unquote power couple. I kind of dislike that word, power couple. I'm like, but whatever. But you have this attractive couple that is successful. And what is the problem? The problem is Martell is cheating. I mean, and, again, when I noticed on the cabin trip initially, the venom that Melody had for Martell, and don't get it twisted, I was never upset at Melody or anything for treating Martell like that. I'm like, you can't tell one's emotions, how to react, or, how to respond to being hurt, especially if it's multiple times. But I just realized that I'm like, okay, without just using my context clues, I was like, okay, dude, like maybe this not your first time cheating. Maybe y'all previously had a conversation on like infidelity, you not being faithful, and you healing. I think marriage is complex in general, especially when you bring in like the dynamics of the black family. Because when you look around, a lot of black people are just not married in general, especially when you look at the divorce rates in America in general. But then if you emphasize that and you actually look at black families and black marriage, and I think we have a issue with being married, but not having that like quality partner. Like, we love the image of being married, but there's work associated. Marriage is sacred, despite that, the frequency and rate that people actually get married and divorced. But for the most part, people, initially, whether it's just ideal or it's just a concept, people do cherish and hold marriage sacred. So I can definitely tell like the dynamics of, like just watching a few shows instantly that, Martell really, hurt Melody. We're on season 3 now. It's actually been a mess. Martell is rumored to be cheating again. And this time, Martell, his cheating has produced a child, allegedly. I'm not sure, but that's what the rumor's saying. That's what the street's saying. Now, with that being said, it's very upsetting. I really empathize and sympathize with Melody, because a lot of times black women are the backbone of the black family. I hate to say it, but sometimes look at it like black men get to leave, right, and not be held accountable for the family. But even with the absence of that black man that is supposed to be rearing his children, you let's say you're done with your significant other or your partner, it is still your responsibility to rear those children and maintain a black family, a strong black family. That institution is gone now, the institution of a family within the black community, unfortunately. But there has always been, black women have always been the backbone of the black family. And so I see the hurt in Melody. I think we all see the hurt in Melody, because Melody took him back time and time again. And see, that's what love is. And when you make certain decisions, marriage is a power dynamic too, because when you look at it, you want to marry a successful person now, not just successful financially, but emotionally, socially. And it hurts. It hurts because externally, you look at this couple. This couple is attractive. They have 3 kids. They have a nice home, nice income. But internally, once you close the door inside that beautiful big home, you understand that, man, this man is a serial cheater. Time and time again, this man has told me, baby, I'll stop, and, I'll stop doing it. It was a mistake. And, so that takes strength. And when I'm saying is strength, when I say strength, I'm not talking about pain, because a lot of times with black people, we associate pain with strength. Those are two different things. I'm saying the strength with Melody being a matriarch, and actually being a strong matriarch in the sense of, this is what I want for my family. We've built this I want to build a legacy. I want to build a legacy. I want to build a legacy. I want to build a complete nuclear family, and rear our children up. But I really enjoyed Melody's decision, because I know deep down inside, there took a lot of pride. Sade has a song, "Love is Stronger Than Pride," and when you look at it, I'm sure Melody was humiliated, in that small town, people giggling behind her back, knowing that Martell was out there, raw dogging people. I mean, it's ridiculous, but throughout that, she had the strength time and time again to say, you know what, like, I'm going to make this happen. But at some point, it does get tiresome. You do become numb, and you have to look at the well-being of yourself as an individual, as a mother, as the matriarch, and you have to move forward, without them. Again, like I said earlier, 2 things could be true. Martell, you are a successful black man. But Martell, you're a narcissist. I mean, it's no way there's no other way to put it than that, Martell. You hurt your wife, well, soon to be your former wife. You've hurt her, and I always give the analogy. Think of a white wedding dress, and each time you cheated on her or did something devastating to Melody, that white dress actually became stained, and so the white dress is so stained and dirty now. Melody doesn't want to wear the dress, and Martell, I don't really understand, because you're following the same steps of your dad. Now, again, Martell, like, I believe you're a great father. Melody has said you're a great father too. But you're not a great husband. And you're doing the same thing in retrospect your dad did to you. Now, I remember in a previous episode in the earlier seasons that, Martell, you went fishing with your dad. There is not an actual real relationship with your dad, the dad that you actually yearn for, because your dad was incarcerated, like so many black men in America. But the absence of that black dad And they talked about you actually seeing a psychologist, which is cool. I think mental health in the Black community, I'm enjoying this this new movement of actually talking about past trauma and actually healing, because mental health can actually impact mental health. Identifying and recognizing help through a mental health professional is dope. I enjoy that. But when I look at it, Martell, I think us as viewers, we saw the pain and the absence, that void that your father left you. All those times you wanted to go fishing or going to, sporting events, or, just having a vice. And, I look at it a lot, and it makes me think about a lot of Black males, because the absence of the dad or father figure. What do we get our information from? How do we actually develop? We develop through social media. We develop through entertainment. It is this white supremacist view of what a Black man should be. A Black man is, supposed to, have as many women as possible. Black men don't cry. Black men, do not show any emotion in general. And that's really damaging to the structure and the institution of the Black family. And, it's really upsetting because, again, it's full circle. When you look at it, Martell, you can make a comparison and say, well, I did better than my dad. Financially, I'm set. He's clearly a nice dresser. He's, I mean, the dude is, I look at it, Martell, and you're the same man as your dad. And I say that, and I'm not trying to actually be disrespectful, but looking at you, you could tell the comparisons, because think about it. You broke up your family. And it's really upsetting because you being a narcissist, you don't actually understand the impact that you've caused on your family. Because remember, at the end of the day, she is still the mother of your children. You have to understand that. And, it's all about the child. It's all about the children now. You messed up. I mean, that happened. That's life. All you can do is grow as a man. But being a narcissist, you victimize. You want yourself to actually be the victim when you victimize Melody. And, keep in mind, I'm not saying Melody is perfect, but we argue in relationships. We have conflict in relationships. But, if you ask a few people, like, infidelity is key. Like, people don't like to be cheated on, but especially when you're married, marriage is sacred. And like I said, I think we all know, without actually knowing, because we'll never know everything. But I'm sure you've cheated multiple times, and you've cheated to the point there, Melody she's gone, bro. And right now, all you can actually do is just, you can grow as a man, but I think that's impossible for you because you have a misogynistic view too, on what a man is. And like I said, you was talking to some of the OGs, and the OGs was telling you that, man, you should cheat this way. And, just because you're old doesn't make you wise. You have to understand that. It's like, it's ignorant fools. It's ignorant fools that are, 60 to 70 years. Age does not equate to knowledge, because there are teenagers who are, wiser than some of these old fools. And I'm like, your archaic view of what a man is in regards to, well, I come home, I pay the bills, I come home in time after I cheat on you multiple times, there should, this 1950 warped view of the, this Madman series warped view of, what manhood is, it's outdated, shouldn't be tolerable. And, I really just, I think that, it's unfortunate because, like, again, from the exterior, outwardly speaking, it's a beautiful couple, but you have to understand when enough is enough. Again, I enjoy the show. I still enjoy the show, but I mean, I think, Martell, how can you not like look at this shoot? Martell, how can you not look at this show right now, wherever you viewing it from home in real time and be like, I look like a damn fool, I look narcissistic. At this point, if you truly love Melody, don't, why are you creating all this tension? Why are you, if you truly love Melody, let her go. But Martell, I don't think you can let her go, or I don't think you can envision her with being with another man past you. And that's sad because you want your cake and you want to eat it too. And unfortunately, that's not how life works. Thank you for watching Context is Everything. Please like, subscribe, and share.